Welcome to the NXT review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by another jolly boy, Wilbourn Hamflett from WhatCulture, to review last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we review not only the show formerly known as NXT 2.0, but also Friday Night SmackDown, AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete. A quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to review last night's NXT and microphone, I should say. Yet another brilliant episode of the best wrestling show of the week, in my opinion.
Must be Wednesday, because we're talking about an awesome show in the afternoon. That being NXT. No, the Dynamite preview's probably fine. This was one of those weeks, I think, where NXT, it doesn't happen very often, but it's nice when NXT, I wish I could think of another word and I can't, penetrates the zeitgeist of pro wrestling. It enters, this keeps happening, the discussion, and it so rarely does, but like you watch the show and then, like, I know you do, I do too, you go on the timeline, can't wait for all the NXT, where's all bang on? Like, there's just nobody talking about it, nobody cares. You could just name names. You could do one of the preview episodes and just make up a bunch of names through one of them generators. And people listening be like, I wonder how, like, Bagford Simmons is going to get on. And we could just say that Bagford Simmons is a character who's like a British eccentric or something like that. It's Bagford Simmons. And they're just like, oh yeah, he probably has a bowler hat, he drinks tea.
Loaded monocle. Boom.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. But this week,
yes,
I am like, I sort of log on. I see the huge announcements, the sort of the surprise appearances of people, the big news for the show that we'll get to later on. Of course, it's coming soon to Las Vegas, Nevada. And then I don't see, because I'm still blocked by him, Shawn Michaels has decided to lean into the praise that he's been getting for years and has changed his Twitter or X, which I guess if you're in Shawn Michaels' stable would be X, profile picture to him in a chef's hat.
Yeah.
Because
I think there's a button for that, actually.
And I mean, folks, where's the lie?
When you knows, and right now Shawn Michaels' eyes, knows that he is a creative genius.
Oh.
He is booking and cooking.
It is so good. Everything about NXT is just so good now. We're on the road to the next PLE, of course, which we'll get to in a second. The doors seemingly have been opened to a talent exchange between TNA and NXT.
Yep.
Which technically means we're one step closer to saying his name and he appears, I believe, in Joe Hendry. Which gets me very excited, especially with Clash at the Castle on the horizon.
And the Gallus boys running roughshod. Actually, a couple of them, he was with them in WCP.
He was, yeah. Prestige, as they were called back
I don't
then.
need to revisit that law. You can just beat them up.
But should we get into it, actually? Because there's genuinely so much to discuss on this show. Because we start, obviously, with the big celebrity arrival. Prior to that, of course, Ava. She hasn't got the surname. She's the Rock's daughter and the general manager of NXT and the Booker and Cooker of the Year.
Yep. That's it. That's how they key her on the show. So that's what we're going to call her.
TK relegated to 4th place.
Just click. Just people clicking off. There's so many of those on YouTube. There's so many of those things down the side that even if you're not watching something on full screen, even if you're really engaged in the content, it's like, I want to go over there. It's like Partridge at the Norfolk Bravery Awards, and you've just said that, and people have just seen, and there'll be videos called like the downfall of WhatCulture Wrestling and things like that,
or just Stacks compilations.
Actually, you can click that. That's fine.
Yeah. I think he's going to be here later on, he said to me.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
He's been in touch. That's good.
I'll try and stick around, obviously, for that.
Yeah, about time.
So, Ava's there in the ring. She's got something, the Women's North American Championship, under a red cloth. But she says, welcome to NXT, where the best women's division is. They're constantly breaking barriers and making history. And in 2 weeks, we'll find out who'll climb the ladder to become the first NXT North American Women's Champion. Obviously, the last two competitors were set to be decided on last night's show. And they've got a special guest. She introduces the hit-dropping, show-stopping Sexxy Red. And out comes Sexxy Red, wiggles her bum, and gets in the ring. All a bit awkward, although we'll get back to this a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Understandably, we've talked a lot about this show in the office today. Ava welcomes her to NXT, says they're thrilled to have her. And Red has got a special announcement for... I'll just do it now. For... Sorry, Mike. NXT Battleground. You're grounded. Battlegrounded. You're winning. Ding, 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 ding.
What's that noise at the end for? What's that noise you do at the end for?
The one-armed bandit coming out.
Why are you doing that?
It's in a casino. What's your favourite casino / housing location?
I'm glad you asked. It'd probably be the beautiful Oyo Hotel and Casino, Las Vegas, Nevada. You don't want to rob the man of his dignity, do you?
No.
He's got a podcast today.
Yes, she's going to be the special host for NXT Battleground, which is awesome. And she gets Red before she leaves to do one more thing, and that is unveil the beautiful new Women's North American Championship. She parades it around, and Tatum Paxley creeps in and tries to snatch it away from her. Would that make her the first champion?
Is
like possession,
rules?
Possession 9/10 of the law and all that.
I just found it funny that because there's no guarantee when a celebrity arrives in NXT who they're potentially going to interact with. But I especially like it when one of our sort of characters that shouldn't really exist on planet Earth, but do exist in planet NXT.
So yeah, she was obsessed. This Tatum, she was obsessed with a half woman, half bird person.
Yeah.
Really weirdly, too obsessed. Then she betrayed her, and now she's just insane Dennis the Menace, basically.
I'm really put off by her, and it's like, well, that's okay because we've got a school within a school that you can go and attend if you want to do some classes. Excuse me. Can we just get serious, please? Serious, is it? Well, these mafiosos have got some pretty serious business going on right now.
Actually, the pull and push for the pull and push for the title. But Michin, who's set to face Tatum, runs out and attacks, so they brawl, and that sets up our first qualifier for the women's ladder match.
I'm sure they were instructed to have the tug of war with the belt, right? Which means that in order to have the tug of war with the belt, Sexy Red had to take it off that plinth. But I was really struck by how nervous and rattled Ava, she hasn't got a surname, she's the Rock's daughter and the general manager of NXT and the Booker and Cooker of the Year, looked when the belt was in Sexy Red's hands. Either she was just nervous to be out there with a celebrity, either she was just nervous to be out there full stop. You know, it's Ava. She hasn't got a surname. She's the Rock's daughter, the general manager of NXT and the Booker and Cooker of the Year. But it was, for a second, it was a bit like, please to drop the belt, please to drop the belt. Because I just thought Sexy Red was overexcited holding the belt, being like, I think I'm the champion now, actually. I don't need to do the combine or climb the ladder.
Background of the belt's red. I'm Sexy Red, so ipso facto.
North American champion.
Looks a beautiful belt, though.
Gorgeous belt.
It's the North American. You can't really go wrong with it. But
yeah, it's North American title. If you haven't seen it, North American title, burgundy strap replaced with a white one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it looks class. The North American title in its WrestleMania gear.
Yes, indeed. So we get Michin versus Tatum Paxley following that. As I said, Sexy Red, a little bit out of her comfort zone, but very quickly got into it later on in the show.
Yeah. We'll cover that now because I think it's worth then coming back to at the end. She's featured in a couple of things across the evening. She did seem a little bit nervous or had scripted stuff to recite and get through in terms of her announcements or whatever. And I guess, I'm not a massive million-hit Spotify multi-selling performer or whatever. You've
never been to Pound Town before?
No, not enough. She performs in front of all of these people, but in her own comfort zone.
Yes.
Not in a wrestling ring, remembering scripted dialogue.
Indeed.
So I just thought it was understandable why it might take a little while, whereas backstage, we don't know that they were definitely live. They could have been pre-taped. And then by the time she returned after the main event, just looked like she'd been in the business 20 years.
See the trick photo that he posted of his reaction when she did the splits in the middle of the ring, and he's like, Jesus!
Yeah. Honestly, I think either Chase U is supremely effective or the Performance Center was operating as NXT was on the air, and we were like, can we get you up to TV ready in 2 hours? And I can get there.
Yeah.
And now Sexy Red's going to win the belt.
Changing rooms or something. You've suddenly it's going to take us just barely 2 hours to make this.
You've seen the changing rooms where somebody's got that prized porcelain collection or something, And they've just, I don't know, it's like teapots or Toby jugs or something like that, breakables. And they changed the room. It's all MDF and wild colours.
Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen.
Yeah, that type of stuff. Handy Andy's knocked together.
Handy Andy would be fit right in NXT, by the way.
He would. Just name, gimmick, the whole deal. Like, I'm going to build a career here in NXT, and it's going to go better than it did on changing rooms when I put up, like, 4 shelves. The whole room was all style, but the Toby jugs or the teapots or whatever were just kept in one place. It's like, come in and look at the room. She's like, oh, wow, it's amazing. Shelves fall down. Just thousands and thousands of pounds of damage, not to mention, like, sentimental reasons, can never be replaced. And, well, enjoy your new living room.
Carol Smiley. See you later, guys.
Yeah, thanks for watching Changing Rooms. Sorry.
I always used to like the fact that, like, I don't think you get this in modern telly. Like, when they just show up and be like, what do you reckon? We've transformed your house. And they go, it's awful. I hate it. You've made it purple for some reason. Not that we're dissing purple, of course.
It's a good colour for pro wrestling. Less so for your living space. If you've had, like, you know, like a bit of a beige or a eggshell. Is that the sort of name of the generic sort of white paint that a lot of houses get? And then Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen has turned it into like a sort of mid-90s London brothel or something. Heart-shaped bed. Sexy Red and Shawn Michaels would love that.
Yeah.
What did it like? It was like cavorting with the backstage, rolling back the years.
Come to Daddy Sugar or something. I was like, I'm sorry, that's Sean.
What is that, Sean?
Anyway, Michin versus Tatum Paxley.
Got one eye on you, Shawn Michaels.
Who is in the Women's North American Championship ladder match. Brawls to start. Michin knocks her in the corner, misses a boot, so Paxley stomps away. Jada Parker comes out to commentary. Nice counter from Tatum. It was an eat defeat into a pump handle flip slam, basically, for 2. But my favourite part was when they tried to do mind games. So obviously Paxley does a weird, creepy crawling thing, but Michin is far ahead of her. She's tranquilo in the ropes. And then she crawls down to the creepy pose of Tatum Paxley. Like, I've got a counter for this. Too sweet to you, baby. They trade counters, and then Michin counters a pump handle into a roll-up for 2. Eat defeat, 1, 2, 3. Michin qualifies for NXT Battleground.
That sequence was exactly as lame and cheesy as you described. Ergo, it was perfect, no notes. Mia Yim finally understanding what it takes to get it done here in NXT.
She's got a shot. She's got a shot on next Sunday.
That is how you qualify for the North American ladder match. You level up to these other wrestlers' weirdness. You get involved, you get in the mix. If you're Mia Yim, you get as weird as Tatum Paxley. If you're Baron Corbin, time to be a wolf dog, mate. If you're Apollo Crews, get pink eye and fart your way to see in the future. Whatever you do, if you're on NXT.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. I'm still waiting for a main roster wrestler. I don't mean like a Ridge Holland in his current state, but like, say like a former world champion or something, to just embrace Chase U. It's like, you know, maybe I do need to go back to wrestling school, something like that. I'm still waiting for the day.
Still missing an opportunity when Cena and Cody and Taker were there, in my opinion.
Well, we might get another one this year. Like, imagine getting like another Tuesday Night War, and then they're all of a sudden in a position where, like, how do we top this? How can we? I mean, it's no longer going to be how we ensure we beat Dynamite in the ratings.
No, exactly. That'd be, you know.
You're joking. Not another one?
I mean, in for a penny and for a pound town now, yeah. But yeah, like who could they reach? What from the bag of tricks of the WWE Hall of Fame?
Get Dwayne in.
Oh my god! And he's like, first thing he does when he comes out, he says, "I know I'm the final boss, but I've actually got a connection with the real boss." It's Ava. She's my daughter and the general manager of NXT and the booker and cooker of the year.
Amazing.
Now, shut the f*** up now. That's Ava.
Yeah, exactly.
She's allowed to swear.
Dad's here. I'm allowed to swear now. Right. Joe Coffey's backstage with Mark Coffey.
Dad's here.
Ava's been difficult, but gave them a slap on the wrist for. I suppose.
You want to call my grandmother a Sean? You did that.
Just to clarify, by the way. Difficult, but a slap on the wrist for attacking 3 members of her roster and in storyline at least taking one of them out indefinitely.
I don't think as an authority figure Ava had the best night on this show.
Okay, fair enough.
She negotiated 2 quite incredible talent deals. To be fair to her, right? One a surprise, perpetrating attacks backstage, and one from another wrestling organisation. A mover and a shaker in the industry.
Exactly.
Elsewhere, sort of flying by the seat of a pants
A
somewhat.
bit distracted.
Yeah.
Probably focused on other things, let's say.
Getting lucky.
She has laid down the law, though. Only 2 of them are going to be there for the main event where they take on Trick and Javon Evans. Ora Mensah turns up and says, "You can't believe you attacked Noam Dar." And they're like, "We didn't attack Noam Dar." I'm like, oh my God.
Somebody did.
Mark says, "If we attacked him, you'd know about it." The coffees leave. Aura's like, well, I guess that seals it. Trick did it then. And Lash was like, he didn't. I'm like, how do you know? And Aura goes off to find Trick.
I love that I don't know if you felt this, right? It's just a misread on my part. They continued for as long as possible this idea that the reason Lash was so certain is because of the alibi, full sex. Mm-hmm. But then the grand payoff to all of this was like, I need you to tell me the truth. So it wasn't.
Maybe she just thought, well, we're having full sex, and I feel like pillow talk, he'd tell me. By the way, I attacked the leader of the Metaphor.
2 minutes, I just need to go to the toilet. And then he goes off and he attacks people.
Goes to the toilet, walks off like Lex is king. Anyway.
She goes into the toilet, there's just like a bunch of sheets tied together. She's like, Trick, 2 minutes! He's just beating the shit out of her arm dog. It was back in more full sex. Yeah. I was there the whole time.
So we get a recap of last week with Lola Vice and Shayna Baszler and how they've got an NXT Underground match for Battleground, of course. And then we cut
for what,
to
sorry?
NXT Battleground. Battleground. Sorry. Who was the... hang on, I like this tweet, so I'm going to give him a shout out on the podcast itself, actually. I want to find it. Shout out again to Shock Anthony 2 on X, OG Stem Cell.
Oh, legend.
Who has revealed we've corrupted his son.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Great Shark t-shirt, by the way, as well, he's wearing in that video.
I love it when people send us these videos and then I also sort of feel a sense of guilt.
Yeah, responsibility more than anything.
Like
shaping the minds of tomorrow.
And that's like, the thing is, I've got kids, so I know this works.
He wobbled then. Yeah.
That might go into that playground and then enter other homes insidiously. Like, I've known this happen.
Where have you got that from?
Yeah, exactly. And the kids at that age can't really answer. They're just like, oh, my friend at school says it or whatever. But where did they get it from? Like, it's a
we can barely remember.
It's a perfect crime from our point of view.
And he just went, why are you wearing dog tags for the podcast?
Well, let me explain to you the army dad from Battleground 2 years ago when it was army themed before it moved to Vegas.
Now it's got the one-armed bandit.
Which is true, yeah. It's got a lot of nice things in Vegas, including, of course, the beautiful Oyo Hotel and Casino.
We'll get there one way or another.
Certainly will.
So Lola's shadowboxing after this recap. There's Ariana Grace, one of our favourites, of course. Just wish she had a sister in NXT, but stick around.
Oh my God.
She says, do you intend to go through with another barbaric NXT Underground match? And Lola's like, yeah, I'm going to kill Shayna Baszler. Grace says, I understand the Latina fire was burning hot last week, but Shayna Baszler's dangerous.
You sound like Stewie Griffin.
Lola says, so am I, and you can find out how dangerous firsthand, and she leaves. And Ariana goes, a potty mouth.
Well, we didn't pick up this, did we?
We didn't. I'll give it another shout out, actually, to TG Carter on X.
What a catch from TG Carter this was.
Get ready to have your mind blown, Nicholas.
On the news, this was flagged this morning. And so, obviously, swearing's goated, which could be one of the reasons why Ariana Grace swore. But we've
Very ladylike.
It isn't, is it? And she's been according to NXT, and she's been trying her best to impose these archaic, dated, ladylike tropes upon Gigi Dolin, who is kind of more of your,
If she was a sound effect, what would she be?
And they just can't coexist. They can't get along. No. They go to a restaurant, they both drink water, Gigi Dolin just knocks out a massive burp.
Still not done that.
No.
On the to-do list. Oh, we'll do it on the go-home for Battleground.
I'll chug the rest of this and be like one of them videos like, oh my God, what do I do? And smash my head against this wall. Or that Sprite can go away. All of a sudden she just walks in the mouth of hell and spits it right out. Anyway, so we wonder if, rather than it being like, please be more ladylike, all of a sudden Ariana Grace is going, so we'll just have to wait and see.
I'm very excited. Thank you, TG Carter, again for that one. Ridge Bloody Holland versus Riley Osborne were next.
Ridge in the old Chase colours this week. Big fan. Big fan.
Osborne's pissed off with him, though. Slugs away to start. Thea's just like, ooh, because Ridge Holland just batters him basically. He says, I don't want to do this. I'm just a European uppercut.
I'm so sorry, mate.
Imagine that's a fight outside a pub.
Well, it's a boot in the... Why are you making me do this? We're just college students.
So Osborne gets sent out to the floor with a spear.
Step spot, man.
Right, yeah, so Osborne, when we come back, Osborne knocks Ridge Bully Holland out to the floor, but gets cut off as he hits a dive. And Ridge is like, I don't want to do this, but better kill him at the steps anyway. Goes to get the steps. And Thea's like, please don't kill him. I quite like him, you know. And so they get back in the ring. Riley slightly recovered. He gets a roll-up for a 2 count. Clothesline from Riley to Ridge. A drop kick, overhand chops in the corner. But then Riley charges and Ridge dodges, trips him, Redeemer, 1, 2, 3. Post-match, you think, right, well, they've got that out of the system. Mm-hmm. Holland helps him to his feet, offers a handshake, but Osborne storms off.
Yeah, all is still not well in Chase U. It continues.
In the words of Bug T.
There's a couple of Booker T things later in this, sorry. Don't let me forget you. You know, the Brindley Reese bit. Sorry, later. The bit where Thea Hale puts her hands on the steps and she's like, no, Ridge, please don't. And continue this bit where he's like, you like me daughter? And it's as if it's as if now, because he's a potential love interest, Riley Osborne, it's as if now they're doing this idea where, like, I'm going to have to kill your boyfriend, darling. Like, again, just the jump from, should I punch him or not? Should I smash his face in with the steel steps?
400-pound steel steps.
There's no acknowledgement of the logic leap. There's just sort of like, oh, and he throws it back in there. He thinks better of it. Discretion is the better part of valor. Has he gone mad or not? What the are we doing here? Like, nobody asks any of those questions.
Don't need to.
It's just... Duke Hudson, though, keeps this interesting because he's none too pleased with Ridge Holland. And I don't know where Andre Chase stands in any of this.
It's tearing that bloody university apart.
Just wants them all to get along. Like, yet again, the most unified and together.
God, are we going to get varsity when the university splits?
Oh yes. Because Duke U was a thing, wasn't it? So he must have had all the Letterman jackets made. And then Andre Chase just came back to work. I did all that paperwork for nothing. But yeah, that could
took bloody ages.
He was really stressed.
I didn't get to wrestle for about a month.
Andre Chase was dodging his calls.
I'm on sabbatical.
No, like the most together Chase U was ever been was under the stewardship of JC Jane, top heel.
Please come back, JC.
Yeah,
I'm in real trouble.
She could be the one to fix all this. Yeah. It like goes up at the end with the inflection.
You know, like the sad Hollyoaks into the break.
Used to love playing the Hollyoaks game at uni, so like you'd watch the episode and it was always the same. It was like a really mega serious storyline, like somebody's dying, like oh my God, like somebody's never going to get over this terrible trauma. Meanwhile, Max No B just want to make his money doing a car wash with bikini girls, but the bikinis have only shown up without the models and they've got to wear them. Right?
OB, what volume do you want to deliver this line at, OB? 10? Sweet. Yeah, just do that all the time, shall you? Hello, my name's OB. Jesus, mate. You've got a child. He's asleep.
Noel's house party's coming to Hollyoaks, but he's forgotten the Mr. Blobby thing. Get the pink paint out, but he'll just be Mr. Blobby. So anyway, and these just two things somehow like uneasily coexist over the half an hour of quite poorly acted soap opera. And then like so the credits, and then it'll go to the credits and like dun 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 dun, and it's like still the wacky Hollyoaks music, and then but we used to play the game in the house of like, how does this episode, what are you left to think for 24 hours until your next Hollyoaks? And it'd always be like, I've got some terrible news, Luke. She's dead. Oh my God, she's dead. Like, that was the love of his life. Max, my pants are falling off. Well, that's a bit of a pivot. That's a lot for me to process. It was Wild West in Chester. It's still on, I think. I would imagine they've not really like changed the editorial policy.
That poor bastard who was still there, who's been through probably like 6 weddings. Tony. Thank you.
Tony. He'd be. He should invite Shawn Michaels over to the restaurant.
So
He was your favourite Hollyoaks character in your era.
OB. He was my favourite. You didn't we had one volume. I'm sorry, she's dead. I love you. Anyway, time for bed, son. All the same volume.
Battlegrounded, grounded, but Mom. I never noticed that about Opie.
He only had one setting. No.
I'm happy.
I'm leaving Hollyoaks to pursue other acting opportunities. Which acting opportunities?
I love that.
Panto. I know what you're doing.
I love that guy that was like a shameless bastard, but like Warren, and he'd be like, he'd like have this like parade of wives or whatever that would like mysteriously die or something,
Yeah.
and it'd be like, you know, sort of, I don't know, Mandy, you've got to understand. Just let me run the club the way I see fit. And she was like, all right, Warren, you're definitely not going to murder him for the money, though, are you? Of course not, Mandy. I'm going to have a quiet word with him. And then they'll hug in close, and the camera will lean on Warren, and he'll go... and he'll summon this murderous rage, and like the camera has to linger on him for a good like 10, 20 seconds to register. And Mandy is in the middle of this intense...
See her hair moving next to her ear.
She's not like registering any of it. Warren, you're gripping me really tight. I love you, Mandy.
The OC...
So back to credible art.
I've been interviewed backstage. Carl Anderson's not happy about getting the silent treatment. Gallo says they're tired of getting ducked, and Carl says they've had title reigns longer than Axiom. And Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Have been champions. They say the beatdowns will continue until they get a title shot. Then they leave, and they're like, oh, bloody hell, what's going on over there? Or Mensah's been attacked. He's hurt his neck.
Yeah.
Who could have done that?
Well,
stick
maybe
around.
We'll find out later.
There he is.
There's Warren.
You mad
He's
bastard.
always raging, and nobody sells it until the last minute. Well, who knew it was you that had burnt the club down, Warren?
Where's this come from, Warren? This isn't really like you, isn't it? Oh, two more of our favourites, or three more of our favourites in action next, because after that, it was Anderson and Gallows against... Hang on, I'm going to start doing this now.
Okay.
Nothing against them as performers, but their current state of affairs. Gallows and Anderson versus Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. And Brindley Reese.
God, and Brindley Reese, vital to a point of this match.
The bad luck continues. By that, I mean she took a rough old bump. As I think Blade hit Enofe on the apron and he fell onto her.
Right. Yeah, that's what was supposed to have happened, right? The contact between Blade and Enofe was weak, shall we say. Forcing Enofe to jump more than he was pushed. Mm-hmm. And because he had extra propulsion, didn't really want to take out Brindley Reese. It was more of a clothesline than it landed on top of it. Yeah. At which point... To be fair to him, call him what he sees rather than trying to tell the story.
And he's not really paying attention, is he?
Yeah, I think he's just looked up from his dinner order. Booker just goes, what the hell's he doing? As if he's like done on purpose, as if he was like just finishing off a tope or something. He's looked up and he's seeing her getting decked. What the hell's he doing?
Anyway, we come back from the break.
Was it this one where like, we're talking about like, Booker was on about like, angels and devils on shoulders?
I don't know, probably. There was a wicked spot. Was this the one with the wicked spot where, I think it was when Enofe was running wild, both Gallows and Anderson were in the ring, and he like jumped and went, he flicked his legs out and hit both. I was like, what the hell was that?
Well, I've missed caring about them in matches because they're just, it's...
Enofe running wild's class.
They remain something of a cartoon and they shouldn't. They're both great.
Really, really good. He's dominating the OC, but then he misses, or there's no one there when he jumps off the top. Gallows hits a choke slam. Magic killer. Anderson covers an Enofe 1, 2, 3.
Just when will the look turn around? That's what I want to know. And look, we need.
He's got OB on the screen. There he is. Up to his tricks again with Max.
Nothing but trouble, those two.
Post.
Can we get OB on the podcast?
Probably. Post-match.
Did you like interview him in your radio days and he cutted you off or something?
I did interview your man Fred Elliott's assistant on Coronation Street.
What, Ashley Beacon?
Ashley, I interviewed him at some...
That's his nephew, or his son.
Sorry, but he was his assistant.
It's your nephew.
He was his assistant as well, wasn't he?
He was his butcher's assistant.
Oh, Ashley. It was him and
Uncle Fred. That's what he
of course, yeah.
And didn't it turn out that he was his dad?
Something like that.
I say, Ashley, I pumped your mother.
I'm your father.
She were a pig as well. Not for the same sort of eye.
To sack her, Ashley, for putting his dick in the bacon slicer. What'd you do with the bacon slicer? I sacked her too. I say I sacked her too.
Anyway, post-match, Axiom and Nathan Fraser
When I'm cleaning windows,
come in and hit missile drop kicks on the OC. Fraser calls them fraudulent clowns, says they're not getting anywhere near the titles. He says, you're a piece of... And Axiom's like, whoa, 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 not for the last time on this show. Someone thankfully gets cut off before they say something they might regret.
Yeah.
And they say, we'll face you at Battleground, basically.
I don't find myself often relating to the Good Brothers, but I don't know. Right now, fraudulent clowns feels about right, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've been ducking them, to be fair.
Yeah. It's got to happen. Battleground.
This show's shaping up to be an awesome night. Sorry, you can't keep doing this to us. It's also funny that it's got the word lamb, but it's spelled they missed the B off because his hat's covering it. Lambert. We got some Lambert. Is that them on Lorraine as well, by the way? Coming up.
Clip on the red.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, come on, we've got work.
Sorry, yeah. Anyway, should we talk more about NXT? Unfortunately, I can't. It's time to talk about Chen NXT. Because we get a great video on Dante Chen talking about his win over Lexis King. We see the footage of that and how he spent ages, and there was loads. It was really good. It was like all the bits where he's just in the background, just as an extra, basically, seeing other people get opportunities. But he told himself to stay ready. He'll always remember the response from the crowd, and it's understandable. It was a great pop. They were always, NXT Universe were always on his side at Level Up. And he'll stay ready for the next opportunity. Then we cut back to the locker room. And he's being congratulated by everyone backstage until bloody Lexis King walks in, says it's a fluke. You'll never get that again. And Chen says, all right, let's have a bare knuckle fight then, tonight. King says, your 15 minutes of fame are over.
Yes. Got plenty to talk about in the match and the aftermath as well. We've got something there, I think.
Yeah.
Quite like him. Quite like Dante Chen thing.
Trick and Javon are backstage. Trick thanks Javon for having his back last week. Say we're going to need our A game in the main event tonight. Sexy Red walks in and they basically just promote a new album. She says she's enjoying NXT. She wishes him good luck, but she's going to come out with them later against Gallus. Let's talk about it.
Well, these three instantly felt like a money act, and
Yeah.
you can double that when they come out to do their entrance later on as well. I'm glad Sexy Red is sticking around for Battleground, and I almost feel like what you were watching here was the makings of, and I'm going to draw from a very lofty comparison here, this was the makings of an Io Shirai Poppy Bond, where every single time Sexy Red returns, the business of Trick Williams and Javon Evans will feature, because what a group immediately looked.
It's awesome.
Instant chemistry, everybody's confidence through the roof, great stuff.
Then we get Roxanne Perez out. She is set to find out her opponent for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT Battleground. She asks us all to acknowledge she's the only woman in WWE that's appreciated this women's title from the beginning, from the moment she won the title in 2.0.
oh my God.
Yeah. I was going to say they were great days, but we're back in pretty great days.
Yes.
We never left him.
And regaining it at the biggest standard delivery of all time. She's seen it jump from waist to waist. From women who use it as a stepping stone to get something bigger and better, but she's truly committed to the title. She's training from the age of 13 to work her way towards
Roxanne
it.
Perez or Robert Perez? Teammate of Dennis Bergkamp, of course. NXT.
She never cared about Raw or SmackDown. To everyone else, it represents the future, but her, it's true greatness, and greatness echoes greatness.
It does.
She finds it really, really, really disrespectful that she's asked to just come out here and find out a Battleground opponent like this. She is the face of the best women's division in all of wrestling. She deserves to be treated better. And Ava comes back out and she says, look, I think you're a great champ, but will you still be champion after Battleground? Because here's your opponent. And it's Jordan Grace. TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace comes out.
Yeah.
Understandable holy chants from the crowd. She says, some of you may remember me from the Royal Rumble earlier this year, but in case you don't, I am TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace. Roxy, you're a great champion, and you've built your name like in NXT like I have in TNA, but I'm challenging you at Battleground to find out who's got the biggest foundation, basically, and I'm fully prepared to leave Las Vegas as a double champion. What a get this is.
Yeah. Obviously, the conversations today have all been about how the two sides might work together. I don't know if it's going to be as 50-50 as that. You sense that TNA is more likely to be possibly a feeder. I just imagine WWE will imagine themselves, even in NXT, as being above TNA in the pecking order. But nonetheless, the possibility of some cross-promotion here. This, of course, revealed why, 3 times on the show we heard NXT's women's division referred to as the best in all of wrestling, because now Jordan Grace can not just have this match, but can represent the Knockouts division, who will, of course, argue that, no, they have the best women's division. So you might get multi-women matches, you might get further feuds coming out of this between the two sides. And in the meantime, if it's nothing but this, just like the Royal Rumble cameo, how great to have Jordan Grace around for this mini run. You know, there's something to come later on, which we're very excited to talk about for, is it next week's episode for Jordan Grace?
Yes.
So there's that to look forward to. Then there's the appearance in Vegas. And then afterwards, presuming that she's probably not going to beat Roxanne Perez for the title, probably. But it doesn't need to be the end of anything, does it? It
The forbidden door has been opened now.
Well, and as I've said to you already, on a camera today, no less, that door is substantially more forbidden than the one that is used as a pay-per-view one every year. WWE just having any kind of open door policy with talents will never not be interesting because of the decades where they did it. And, there's another example coming later on in the show where it's a signing, but they brought somebody in wholesale as another character.
Sorry, I know we got excited on that. We did this on the news, and we talked about, obviously, Joe Hendry. We talked about Chris Bay, who said, if you want some more tag teams, well, absolutely. Talked about Mike Bailey. I completely forgot that this gets us one step closer to Dirty Dango being back in WWE.
Of course. In NXT, no less, as well.
And Tommy Dreamer and Matt Hardy, but
No, don't talk about that. Ever. NXT! We did discuss as well, of course, obviously, with Jordan Grace. There could be down the line a Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Gresham right now is kind of an octopus that spews poison goo. So absolutely perfect for NXT.
Yep.
Bring him in, sign him up.
No notes.
I love this. I love the potential of this. And I genuinely like the Battleground match. I think this is
They could bring it to some of their champions as well. You got Jordan Grace, obviously, but they've got this X Division champion called Mustafa Ali.
Ooh, I've never heard of him.
Could really do some things.
Potential.
What is he? He's like an octopus.
Yeah. Octopus. The cat o' 8 tails.
Nice.
He's got octo.
Hey!
Very good.
If they gave him part of his gimmick, but also working in a hospital and called him Doc Ock, I'd be the happiest man in the world.
Very good.
I'm just...
Rocktopus. He's a goo spouting octopus, but he's also into playing the guitar, which is helpful because each week he comes out and does the live theme music for... with one of those ones with the double neck, but there's 8 of them.
Get Santana as well. Mike Santana's in TNA, of course, now.
Santino Marella.
Oh, my God.
Ariana Grace. She hasn't got a match at Battleground. She's Santino's daughter.
Oh my God.
Also, never mind leopards roaming around. What about a rhino? Get that zookeeper gimmick. Get it sorted.
You know what they say, JSU, a rhino never changes its horn.
We get a vignette for Eddie Thorpe. Fire. It's about fire.
He was trees previously, wasn't it? Banging the trees. Now he's in fire.
Fire is destructive for his people. It's a spiritual doorway.
Smoke kills in second, fire kills in minutes. He said that.
And he's ready to lead the ways for his family. And he's been reborn. I looked at that and I thought he could be the one to beat over Femi. I really like Eddie Thorpe, and that's a great way to bring him back and set him going.
Set him fire.
Set him on fire.
Just AEW did it too. That's a great idea. You're going to walk around on fire. Excuse me? Yeah.
You're always on fire doing an interview.
You're flame boy now. How's that going to work? Well, watch what happens when somebody tries to power slam you. Ah! Just pin him.
That's what they should have had when, in the House of Black used to be like, right, you pick a rule. You're on fire. There you go. You start the match on fire. Oh, what do you think of that? It's probably going to put me at a disadvantage, isn't it? The whole being on fire, the gimmick.
Brody King's just still covered in marks. It's like, not again. Malachi, we've got to stop this. It's the fourth time I've been set on fire this week.
That goose flammable as well. It's even worse. Chase, you were backstage. Andre's like, well, I guess that's everything resolved. Riley's like, it's not over. I don't trust him. And Duke says he's got a good point, and they leave. And it's like, what? Thea Hale's angry. She's got a big match with Jasmine Nix next week. Holland walks up, and Jason's like, everything's fine, Ridge. Don't worry about it. It's not.
All is not well. Don't like that.
Anyway, from Jordan Grace to Ariana Grace in action against Lola Vice. Very brief match this. There was a bit of offense from Ariana, but she gets dropped with a spinning back fist from Lola Vice. 1, 2, 3. I love how Lola Vice is like a terrifying MMA fighter. Wins, and she's like, yeah. She did it in was it Bellator she fought in? I saw a clip of her recently, and she like brutally knocks out this girl, and she's like, way!
It's a good vibe, isn't it?
She got a promo afterwards saying, you got two options, Shayna. Either I'll tap you out or knock you out. You choose, bitch! And Baszler comes down, and they have to be held apart.
Just an angle rather than a match, as you say. I think this NXT Underground thing could be great.
Oh, my God.
I think there is people are going to sleep on it because it's just an NXT premium live event, but there's quite a high ceiling on this. NXT Underground is really stupid and looks...
Why did they get Bruce Buffer to do the announcements?
Because they're in Vegas anyway.
Yeah.
At TKO? Why? Yeah.
It's time. I'm like, oh, Jesus, Bruce, let's go.
Let's do it.
Just have a shoot fight. Brawl for All's back and it kicks ass.
I'd watch it as well. They take bets on it with it being in Vegas. We're on to something here. You can hear the cheers down from the...
Chase U pays off all their debts.
I love it.
We got
Should we go to the show?
Yeah.
Go to...
Where would we stay, though?
I know just a place. The beautiful Oyo Hotel and Casino.
We got a vignette for Carly Bright. She dedicated her life to cheerleading. She had a Division I scholarship at the University of Minnesota. But she wants to use her athletic skills when she graduated to get into wrestling. That was her new love, and she's NXT's ray of sunshine.
Cool.
Yeah. And then they're backstage with her, and they're all congratulating her.
Bright, you see.
Yeah.
She's the sun.
Can't.
This is your thing.
You're the sun. Here's a woman who brings a sword to the ring, and here's Natalia. And they're all congratulating her. Izzy Dane walks in, who looks massive, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I know they think she's just... I don't know how tall Izzy Dame is, but next to these, she looked like a giant. Izzy Dame comes in and is like, a bunch of losers, basically. And Karma says, don't talk to a living legend like that. And
you went, where?
Excited for Carly, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Izzy says, you thank your partner for your win last week? And they go, oh, come here. They have to be held apart. There's a brawl in the women's locker room.
Natalia to you is very much like the sort of OB of WWE, isn't she?
That you'd use his name in vain like that. I've written here, Charlie Dempsey is furiously working out, and Damon Kemp's like, is everything all right, Charlie? Him and Miles are like, you're right there, mate.
Yeah.
He says, no, I've lost a part of myself since I lost the Heritage Cup. We need structure like the D'Angelo family if we want to get to the top of NXT. Miles Bourne says, all right, I'll kick his ass next week. Dempsey says, no, Damon Kemp will. And then they can't say capiche, basically. It's not a great start, is it?
Shoot fighters that need to be more like pretend mafiosos. I f***ing love this show. Like, I don't want to watch ever again in my life the Blackpool Combat Club. Ever, right? but these boring creeps just like arguing with each other and mispronouncing words and being like, I did see them eating pasta and I thought that looked pretty nice.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to take a trip to the restaurant.
What was the name of the girl they were going to get to like redo the restaurant? Dollface Danielle.
Dollface Danielle. Yeah, we need someone like Dollface Danielle.
That's where we went wrong. Aura's being checked over in medical. Jakara's like, we need to get to the bottom of these attacks. Lashley's like, I've got an ass trick. He won't lie to me. Well, you convinced him a minute ago that he definitely didn't do it. So now she's a bit unsure.
Also, as well, wasn't there the implication here? Look, it's just us two now. You're gonna Trick's gonna battle them, right? Even if he's behind the attacks. Twist. I'm taking out all four of you. We're up there, Trick flying kick, like down she goes. Whoa. I don't think you're the top babyface anymore. Trick.
No. Then it was time for another round of Chen XT. Dante Chen against Lexis King. Again, Lexis King hasn't learned his lesson.
He's not learned to wrestle.
He gets very arrogant after a few strikes, gets small package for 2, hits a jackhammer, argues with the ref and gets crucifixed 1, 2, 3 in like 2 minutes. But then Lexis King snaps, attacks him, beats him down, drags him by his hair, lays in strikes, pulls him out to the floor, hits a drive-by, pulls back the ringside mats, and then hits a coronation on the ringside mats. On the edge of it, onto the concrete, sort of, I suppose.
It wasn't sort of, you suppose, at all, was it? Let me pull back these mats, so if anything, it's more padded when I drop you on them.
But your knees.
Yeah.
Whoa. But I like...
And my legs, if anything. Ow.
We then get a vignette with Josh Briggs. He had 2 big goals too early, but he got a little brother and a little sister. But then their goals diverged, and now he has to find his own success. He's got some wins, but he hasn't quite figured out who he is. But he's going to find out.
Yeah, good. ...
Sean Spears is then watching this, and he goes, another troubled soul in need of guidance.
Somebody who doesn't know who they are.
In fact, he's troubled by the youth in NXT who are wandering down the path of uncertainty. There's one who's close, but doesn't have it. He's been there too, so he'll guide them down that path and be the answer. Is Brooks Jensen going to get...
Is Sean Spears going to get in the middle of the Brooks Jensen, Josh Briggs all-timer NXT legacy rivalry / team? Going to bring them back together just so you can... It's like 2 more people that can hit me with a chair so I can prove my point.
So Brooks and Holland now will be part of his
stable. Rich Holland... a bit corrupted and now has moved to JSU, and there was very much sense of...
so he just lost that feud. This wasn't a long-term...
Sean Spears was like, well, my work here is done. You didn't do anything, Sean.
Didn't
I? He's in JSU. So, I love this. Weird old Sean Spears mixing in with Brooks and Josh Briggs. What's going to happen there?
I felt very much like, I can't remember who the interviewer was, I think it was Kelly, who's just like, I want to do this interview again. Weirdo.
And poor Josh Briggs, undone by...
Give me Lexis King next time.
Josh Briggs undone by the schedulers. He couldn't have known that his little speech was going to be immediately followed by Sean Spears. And now, through no choice of his own, he's stuck in Sean Spears' orbit. Good stuff, this. Good.
So the family are backstage.
Yep.
Sat around having a chat. Tony walks up with the Heritage Cup. Before he does, though, Stax, Riz, and Luca are there. Stax says, The NQCC messed with the wrong family. Riz says, that's right. And Lucas says, you know what we can do? We can litigate this.
You slagged off a professional actor on this podcast earlier on. With that Stax voice.
Yeah, the Stax one isn't great. The other two, bob on.
Oh, spot on. Spot like they're in the room.
Tony comes in with the Heritage Cup, plugs it down on the table. It's looking bigger than ever. And Tony says, oh, fellas, let's settle down with this whole tag team thing. Big picture, no quarter catch crew. Nothing else gets done until we put this thing to bed. Because you know what? They're going to keep coming after us over this thing. At first, I was like, it's a nice little cup. But now it's growing on me. But for no quarter catch crew, this is like part of them, like their liver or something. I don't know. Me neither.
Me neither, Tony.
Luca, you look up that catch clause? And Luca says, yeah, I sifted through the paperwork on it. I'll have it done tonight. Tony says, oh, good. I need to know everything so we can use it to our advantage. Riz says, oh, Tony, you're expecting a surprise. Always watching. Tony says, oh, Charlie said it's Damon next week, but I can't trust him as far as I can throw him. Stack says, throw him? Damon is as solid as a load of wet cement. Down, do we need to take somebody for a ride? Tony considers it, and he says, oh, now we're going to beat him at the wrong game.
Were you waiting for the wet cement bit? Like, a bit like that time we drowned Cement Phil or something like that. Just where they give a very specific story of a crime they've committed on telly.
Yeah.
Another great week for the family, I suppose.
I was a bit worried that we weren't going to see. I thought it was going to be all NQCC plotting.
Tony's goalpost moving is quite brilliant, isn't it? Because he's like, for about the past 6 months, he's been like, big picture, guys. Initially, it was winning the tag belts, and then the lost tag belts. Like, don't worry, big picture. I want to win the world title. Fails. Yeah, big picture. Big trophy, I meant, actually.
Yeah.
It's not a picture, it's a cup, Tony. And he's won it. He's like, big picture. This, our life now.
Yeah, we just keep defending this forever, and I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, I was absolutely fine with all of this.
Feel relatively confident against Damon Kemp next week.
I would do too, yeah. It's a good, it's the sort of the first defense we talk of, the difficulty of booking.
See what's
going to
happen? I've just realised,
Go
to step on our own dick somewhat a little bit. Charlie Dempsey's going to try and talk in a funny Italian accent, and Damon Kemp's not going to understand him. You know, like he's like, capiche, and he's like,
Yeah. He's getting that, oh my, what you say, arm lock? And then he keeps going for the arm, and he's just, I love that. Bad advice.
I told you about capiche. What? I've brought Caprice Coleman with me. What's going on?
Jesus Christ. Mate.
Real AW to WWE crossover, that
would be forbidden door. If the Ring of Honor commentator turns up based on a mispronunciation of the word capiche between a shoot fighter and a mafioso.
It's all coming together. That's just reminded me, actually. I need to go and set my video plus for Hollyoaks tonight.
Yeah, fine.
I'll be back.
Yeah, that's...
But, you tell us more about how you think this Heritage Cup match is going to go.
Jesus Christ, mate. Oh, I've had to take some hospital. Hang on, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try that thing. Piss eat your. Well, that was better than having to talk about the no quarter category. Hey, Sexxy!
How is everybody? Hey, Mikey, how's it going?
Yeah, a bit of a shock there.
Oh, it smells around here. It smells like a bit like apple. What's going on?
How'd you like them apples, Stacks?
Jesus! Hey, belated happy National Beef Burger Day to you,
Thanks
Hamflett.
so much. I did celebrate, actually, with one from McDonald's. Do you have McDonald's in America, Stacks?
Well, let me tell you, I don't want to spoil no punchline, so I'm not going to answer that just yet.
Sorry.
But what is the deal with burgers anyway?
You don't know, despite potentially having a joke.
I'm somewhat aware.
Right, yeah. Simplest form, it's bread, meat, bread. My kind of food, a burger. Or vegetarian option, I guess, in the middle. There's a word that you guys like in America, and it's gradually sort of more come over to the UK. I don't really like it. It's a word that gives me a funny feeling. Patty. A beef patty. I don't like that word. But, like it's a sort of squashed, I guess it can be beef or any kind of like minced meat, sort of squashed together like that, put between two bread. Some people, most people, I would say, to be honest, enjoy it with like cheese, salad, condiments like ketchup or...
You condiment guy?
Not at all, I'm afraid. And do you know what? Like, I appreciate that I have some weird and difficult like food takes for people to understand. Wilbourn, if he was here right now, because he's actually on a very important assignment right now, normally he'd be quite annoyed, would back me up on this. He just, when it's bread, meat, bread, I'll take that instead. That's what he always says.
I'll check him next time I see him.
That's a burger.
You know, actually, I bought a present for my girlfriend. You know, I'm not sure I mentioned this.
Right.
It's a pet snake. Or a pet snake, but he's a bit of a picky eater. He only eats burgers and actually hot dogs and sloppy joes. Apparently, my anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, huh? 3 jokes, 3 questions for you. Question joke number 1, Hamflett. How does a boy guy introduce his wife?
How does a burger introduce his wife? Mike, you got anything on this one? He's shaking his head. No use. He's got a good impression. Might see that later on. I mean, if you stick around. I mean, I would really like to see how that would even work if I'm honest. Actually starts with it. Let's make that happen. No, I can't work it out. I can't work it out, Stacks. I'm not going to work out this joke.
How does a boy introduce his wife? Meet Patty.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Seeing that doesn't give me the ick. Like, I think of Patty as the name, not as the meat, but when I think of it, it's like Sidgwick doesn't like the word fart. I think it's a great word and a great app. As well, I've shown you that before.
Not yet.
No.
Let's see if I can get it on his old phone. Let's see if I can guess his passcode. Oh, Face ID works. Okay. Pick a number between...
Why, Stacks?
It just appears on my screen. Pick a number between 1 and 19.
4. That sounds like the start of Ain't No Other Man by Christina Aguilera.
Absolute banger there.
Oh,
by
what
the
a
way.
banger.
Question joke number 2. All good for the kids, these jokes.
Okay.
How did Burger King get Dairy Queen pregnant?
Dairy Queen is we don't have that brand in the UK. Stacks. I don't quite know what iconography I'm dealing with here. It's not one of my. It's an ice cream shop, is it in America? I don't know. Can I set up again, please?
How did Burger King get Dairy Queen pregnant? You're the only DQ you know is when someone interferes in the goddamn match.
That's right. He penetrated her with his whopper. Stacks.
So goddamn close. How did Burger King get Dairy Queen pregnant? He forgot to wrap his Whopper.
God, it's better. That's good.
All good stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
Final question, final joke for you. What's the similarity between my penis and a McDonald's burger? That's what's the similarity between my penis and a McDonald's burger? What is the similarity between my penis and a McDonald's burger?
Stacks, I'm sweating, mate.
Not the only one. It's goddamn hot in this
It is
coat.
hot. Oh, Christ. Your penis.
My penis. And a McDonald's burger.
You ever seen Hollyoaks, Stacks? This sounds an awful lot like a situation that two very funny characters would get up to in Hollyoaks.
Look it up. On the flight back.
Stacks and OB. It could be you two, just hanging out, getting into scrapes.
I don't think we got enough.
Max, I got me no bet with Mackies again. I don't know.
What is the similarity between my penis and a McDonald's burger? They're both smaller and less filling than advertised. See you later, guys.
Bye, Stacks. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, bloody nightmare working video. Plus, it's been a few years since that was a thing. So,
You still got a video player in your house?
yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
LP, though. Long play, double the amount of videotape. That's 6 hours you get.
Do you know what? I still have. I loved long play when it came in, but the first time I ever experienced long play was on the wrong end of it because one of my dad's colleagues had taped me WrestleMania 12.
It was all double speed.
And we didn't have a long play video at the time, so I watched the entire of that show because, of course, I did. I was like. The only benefit was in the Iron Man match where, like, the first watch was like, this is not so bad. I didn't know how goddamn boring it was going to be because it took half the time.
That's my experience watching Double or Nothing right there. Anyway, Kalani Jordan versus Ren Sinclair was next. Fallon Henley came out to do commentary. I like the fact that Vic Joseph was like, "Yay, Fallon Henley's here." She just gave him like a bar towel, and he was like, "Oh, he's ruined it." Anyway, Ren Sinclair countered an arm drag with an X Factor, but Kalani sent her outside and hit a nice corkscrew crossbody onto her. They go back and forth with counters. There's a bit of an awkward moment where she's trying to bridge out or something, but it
Doesn't work.
doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. No,
because the finish looked class. Kalani hit a back suplex and a split-legged moonsault. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's the one of a kind now, isn't it? Named after Rob Van Dam. And that, like, I kind of forgotten how good the execution of that split-leg moonsault is. It did go wrong. It was a very good match, but we kind of knew she'd qualify as well. So.
We go to Ava's office. I've just realised. We'll come back to this.
Okay, yeah.
Kelly's with Wesley. He's happy he made it to NXT Battleground, but not happy that he has to share the number 1 contenders win with Joe Coffey. Great bit of booking that. Other companies should copy it. And he's not concerned about Gallus, though. Then Obafemi comes in and says, I'm going to beat both you arseholes. Yep. But Lee's ready to prove him wrong. This is going to be really good.
I think so, yeah. I think like the Wesley comeback already.
Coffey is part of a triple threat.
It's manageable. But yeah, the Wesley comeback story is so fascinating to me because do you like...
Coffey and Wesley.
That's why the finish is going to be such a blur because we just can't decide who's going to win. I lost my train of thought now. That was it. I can't decide if I want Wesley to win this and get his sort of big comeback moment or lose, question everything, and then down the line move on to Trick Williams and get the bigger bet. It's like you could tell both stories quite effectively because it was such a heartbreaking injury that this is the shot for the belt he never lost. But like since then, like Obafemi is just a threat that he could have never anticipated. But say if he was like down the line to become NXT champion and then has to fight Obafemi in a like champion versus champion match because he has to know, like, can I actually beat him? That's that whole thing, isn't it? Of like, what's in the World Cup or the Euros where you lose the team in the groups, but you qualify anyway, then you're kind of destined to meet potentially again in the final. You've got to beat them in the end. Yeah. You've got to do it. So I really like what they've got with Wesley, like either way they go with it. I can't call it a Battleground either.
Yeah, I love Wesley. I'm so happy he's back. But there's a bit of me that's like, I'll just be a heel because then I can book you against Javon Evans and Trick Williams down the line.
It'd
It'd
be
be awesome matches. To circle back, though, Stevie Hunter walks into Ava's office. Yeah. She ain't got to say her name. She's Rock's daughter and general manager of NXT and Booker and Cooker of the Year. She says, I've been busting my ass on Level Up. Not been streaming then, have you?
No. She's changed gimmick completely without any explanation here.
She didn't even get an invite to the Women's Combine. Probably on a computer.
Well, if anything, yeah.
See it.
She's no longer streaming, so she wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
It does.
She's gone offline and she's like, we emailed everyone because who's not online anymore.
Good point, yeah. That's tight storytelling, this, isn't it? This complete transformation of a character.
Actually changed her profile on WWE.com. See if she's still...
Did she have like a sort of Twitch streamer image before?
Let's find out.
Oh, okay, right.
Stevie Turner. You know that Superstar was born for the spotlight when they dubbed themselves the futuristic 4-dimensional star of NXT UK. Taken to the NXT UK landscape like a duck to water.
Is that a thing? She's a duck?
She burst onto the scene by scoring wins over the likes of Laura Di Matteo, Roberto's daughter.
I don't know.
Came up short against Miko Satomura in the NXT UK title. She's NXT's resident streamer. So
she's not anymore.
Someone needs to update this.
She's busting her ass on Level Up. Do you remember that was a weird thing, wasn't it, on the Superstar page on WWE.com when Stax, you just missed him, by the way.
Oh.
He had 2 pictures.
Yes.
Solo profile thing. Yeah, there was like 2 Stacks on there. Which is odd, because he tweeted, didn't he, over WrestleMania weekend when he met you?
Yeah.
2 Stacks. I don't know what he was referring to.
I don't know. It's just... Anyway, there's also... There's Ava's there. Stevie's there. We're going to get Jordan Grace in a second. Before that, though, there was a guy, and I was like, oh, God, I recognise him. He used to be Von Wagner's manager. For life of me, I can't remember his name. Hamflett, you any idea?
It's coming to me.
Hang on, I know I might have the answer to this.
Yeah.
Mike, you got any clues to this?
He does a good impression. It's Robert Stone.
So Shezzy should give her a shot like Dante Chen. Jordan Grace walks in and says, I couldn't help but overhear you say you fancied a match. I'll bat you next week. And Steve's like, oh, bollocks. It's great.
A TV match for Jordan Grace was so unexpected. What we never learned, obviously, from this segment, because it was all about Stevie and Jordan, was what Ava, she hasn't got a surname, she's the Rock's daughter and the general manager of NXT and the Booker and Crook of the Year. What business exactly was she conducting with I'm not going to do the voice. Mike does the voice better than me. With Robert Stone.
Guess we'll have to wait and find out, I suppose.
That's it. Where's any of that going?
Main event time, Trick Williams and Joanne Evans versus Mark and Joe Coffey. No Wolfgang, but Sexy Red instead. It's a fair trade.
I feel like it pulls a face at me sometimes. When Stacks knocked him out, you weren't there. Stacks knocked him out one time.
Oh, with like a back elbow. I heard about this, yeah. There was a bit early on where I think it was Joe Coffey got knocked down and they do a group pose. And I was like, put all the belts on them.
All the belts on them. Absolute money, these three.
Sexy Red twerks. Williams and Evans just pose. And I just thought, oh, megastars.
Yeah. Sexy Red was great in this.
Hence why we've changed our NXT logo, by the way. Shout out to Adam Nicholas, who's made this Sexy Red themed NXT review.
It is fantastic. It's like it's as natural feeling as she was. I want that to stay. Maybe we can change the colour depending on the theme of the week. Or if in doubt, just go to like a silvery grey white colour. That whole deal we talk about, like footwork sometimes in wrestling, about like how wrestlers walk around the ring or whatever. It applies to managers as well. How to like maximise the space and make it look like this great arena of conflict and all that. She just looked like she belonged. This wasn't a celebrity that kind of hugs the corner and waits for the cue or anything like that. Just the confidence just seemed to at long last arrive. It was great.
We come back from a break after this distracted everyone, so they sent Evans into the steps. But when we come back, there's a hot tag to Trick. Double Uranagi on both members of Gallus. Tries to cover them both, but they kick out at 2. Mark Coffey and Trick go back and forth. And then after a near fall, Mark's like, go on, Joe. And Joe tries to grab the NXT Championship, but he's cut off by Sexy Red, who grabs the belt. There's a tug of war. Javon Evans leaps through the ropes and wipes out Joe Coffey. Great spot, that. And in the ring, Trick hits Mark with that signature running knee strike. 1, 2, 3 for the win. Yeah,
like more functional than good this. It was Sexy Red spots and Javon Evans getting at least one bit of shine that he gets all the time. And the more that they're like, I really like Trick Williams and Javon Evans, by the way, because it does make Javon feel like this like next level athlete. But it also, by contrast, makes Trick feel like way more of like an experienced hand.
Yeah.
It's working both ways. To sort of, they're both telling lies a little bit, but I'm being worked and I quite like it.
So Sexy Red's there celebrating with Javon Evans and Trick Williams. Out comes Lash Legend. And Red and Evans leave the ring. Legend wants a one-on-one with Trick, and she says, Did you attack? No, I'm Darren Ora Mensah. And Trick Williams goes to speak when suddenly, boom, blackout. The lights come back up. And the crowd are popping. We don't see it yet.
Yeah.
And Trick Williams is attacked from behind. He falls into Lash Legend. He knocks her over. There's a beat down. Commentary like, who the hell's this? And it is revealed Ethan Page is here in NXT. But wait a second, Hamflett. Wasn't he in AE?
Whoa! Booker T cuts Vic Joseph off before
Thank
he
God.
can say it.
Jeez.
What would happen then? Nothing.
But Ethan Page grabs a microphone. He says,
I think Booker T just hates it that much. Like the way that WWE Hall of Famer says stuff on his podcast that you think, do you really feel that, Booker? Like, I was reading an old one recently where he just thought that the CM Punk debut on Rampage wasn't any good. Like, you sure you were watching it? You sure you weren't ordering food?
So Ethan Page reveals he is the one who attacked Noam Dar and Oro Mensah, and then chucks the microphone down, gets in the face of the camera and says, whoop that Trick? Yeah, I'm about to. And hits him with a running knee in the corner, stands with the NXT title, poses with it, and we go off the air. What an amazing conclusion to this show.
Ethan Page. Nobody could have seen it coming. We talked a little bit about this on the news, but not everybody will maybe watch both videos. So I just wanted to say before it comes across as raging bias, of which some of it is, Ethan Page was always coming up against a bit of a ceiling in AEW. Yeah. Despite his work always being pretty good, always coming up against how high he could really get. Right now, WWE being hotter means that you kind of feel a bit more, I think, for people coming this way rather than going to the shade. Like, AEW feels like it doesn't need wrestlers, whereas WWE feels like it can accommodate an odd new name and you can go, oh, they're going to work with so-and-so. But not to be like pragmatic and boring about it, Ethan Page is the perfect wrestler for NXT right now.
Oh my God.
You either like put a belt on him, you either make him a big deal right now, or as just a proper wrestler's wrestler, he works as a player coach figure in the same way Sean Spears does. Ethan Page might want the moon on a stick and go and get it. You know, he might not be there just to like help coach. He might see this as a much bigger thing and
I'll be there for 2 months and then onto the main roster. Who knows?
All power to him if he wants to do that. But there doesn't seem to be any major negatives that I can see here. And if, with him attacking Noam Dar and Mensa, obviously he's just set himself up a feud with the Metaphor for no reason, which is quite funny. But
Yes.
I was thinking about this. We both assumed, I think, that he was going to compete for the title at the Las Vegas PLE.
NXT Battleground. You're grounded. Battleground. But mom, you're winning. Ding, 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 ding.
But the next one, taking place over Money in the Bank weekend, if you recall the name of that one.
I don't actually. Oh, NXT Heat Wave.
Thanks. Is taking place in Canada, isn't it? So what if the Vegas one, which again is...
You're grounded, Battleground.
It's Westminster Dog Show or something. So anyway, yeah, if it's Trick Williams and Andrade World Battleground, then I guess it could be Ethan Page in front of his Canadian fans at yeah. So they might have 2 Trick Williams opponents, so, or a 3-way because Noam Dar wants revenge because of the attack.
Coffee wants Trick as well. Joe Coffey.
Yeah, Coffee and Trick Willie.
We don't need any coffees.
No. Gallus go in the main room. Gallus a bit there by Clash at the Castle, sadly.
But I'm so happy about Ethan Page. Sorry, made myself sad. Very happy about Ethan Page.
Oh my God.
And Jordan Grace, and just
Yeah,
this
big
episode
night.
of NXT, loved it. Let us know your thoughts on it in the comment section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Well, actually, you can follow both of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. And make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. The AEW Dynamite preview is available right now. And we're just about to go live on YouTube with our review of King and Queen of the Ring. But for now, this has been the NXT review. My thanks to Hamflett, to Microphone, to Stacks. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.